changes to road layout to facilitate access for new Christchurch Hospital car park building. And I did receive an amendment through from Aaron, but I've looked at that amendment and I'm ruling it out of order on the basis of it not, where is it? Standing Order 18.7, amendments to be relevant. So it has to be relevant. Every proposed amendment must be relevant to the motion under discussion. This is not relevant to the car park building. It's the road layout to facilitate access to it. So it is ruled out of order. So if we could move to the staff member who's going to present the item.
Thank you, Mayor Leanne. It's Andy Milne here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, look, this report is seeking council committee approval to the road changes on Hagley Avenue outside the site at 550 Hagley Ave. And it's there to support the consented CDHB car park. We've worked very closely with a number of parties to come to this point. We've worked well with Naitahu, the developer, their planning consultants and traffic consultants, and we've also worked with the independent safety auditor to come up with what we think is a best access solution for the car park. The road changes that we recommend for your approval are set out in the attachment to the document, attachment A. And essentially these changes are changes to the road markings, some new signage to prohibit some turns, and some raised medians. I'm going to take the report as read and open it back to you.
Thank you. Well, I'm happy to move it just to get it off. And Tim Scandrett has put his thumb up first, so he seconded it. So are there any questions for staff? None? Is there any debate? Oh, Yanni, you have a question or debate?
Yeah, just a question. Given that the additional resolution's been rolled out of order, I just wanted to check in terms of our ability to work with the developer on getting mobility, parking, EV charging, and better landscaping. I've had the staff send through a copy of the consent, which I really appreciate, and I appreciate that legally we may not be able to require them to do certain things, but I guess I was really interested in the opportunity to work constructively with them, because it is concerning that it doesn't comply with some of the things around landscaping and trees, and also around mobility parking, where it's short and what's required in the district plan. And I totally appreciate that's a separate process, but I do think it would be a shame not to try and find a solution, given how much this council has focused on accessibility and how much we have just had a big discussion about the importance of trees in our natural environment.
I'm not sure who to direct the question to.
It's probably me, Chair.
Okay, Lynette.
All of that is beyond the scope of this report. We'd have to go back and deal with that separately, and I think that's the best way to do that.
So with the EV charging, for example, I know we've got the budget. Would this be the sort of project?
Is the EV charging on the street, is it, as part of this report?
No, on the site.
It's on the site. Okay, so can we just park that issue, literally, until we address that separately? The purpose of this report is to undertake the support for the changes to the median and road markings. That's what's come to us for approval today.
Okay, well, can I just ask the staff then if there's any opportunity through the road design to put in more trees, given the concern around the loss of tree canopy in the city, and given that the development itself doesn't adequately produce the required landscaping. So has there been any consideration given to what we can do to have trees planted around this in terms of the landscaping?
This is adjacent to Hagley Park.
Sorry, look, I can see trees on the what I'm looking at. Are those trees all disappearing? Are they?
There's some that are staying, but the main concern is that the lack of landscaping and activity at ground level.
He keeps confusing two different projects. This is about a simple road and
that's why
decision.
I've moved it.
Yeah, that's what I was asking about on our road network. If we can put any additional landscaping in.
As part of this report, the answer to that question is no.
No trees on the road.
We have landscaping on our roads all the time.
Can we?
None's being removed.
None's being removed. None's being changed. We're not changing. Right. We're only changing and requesting a change of paint markings.
Yep. Okay. So, Aaron, did you have a question relevant to the paper?
Yeah, yes, I did. Around the amendment being ruled out of order, that the amendment relates to the car park and the design. So if the design's wrong and then changes, won't the road layout be wrong?
No, the amendment is not in order for this paper. It doesn't mean that you can't resolve it in another way, but it is not an amendment I'm taking on this paper.
So, but then couldn't we make the wrong decision then if the design of the
We're changing the road markings on the road. So I don't think that's, but Lynette, you might know, obviously, technically, whether that is something that could never be changed again.
No, that can always be changed or tweaked if it needs to be, but this is in relation to the consent. Andy, nod your head if you agree with me.
Yes.
So the consent condition requires this approval to happen by council. So the consent acknowledged that there was still some approvals that would need to happen. And this is part of the consent. If it changes, it's not actually going to be installed. Andy, correct me, straight away. It won't be installed until the car park is built and becoming operational.
That's right. The whole thing needs to be cleared and constructed first, and then in comes the changes to the road.
So we're just doing them ahead of that.
To give the developer some certainty.
Yes.
Thank you. Look, I'm just a wee bit confused here because item 12 is Hagley Avenue proposed changes of road layout to the access for the new Christchurch Hospital car park building. So why wouldn't the board members of CDHB on council have a good heads over this? If Aaron, if you're saying that there's something wrong with the car park, isn't that for you guys to sort out?
Well,
I'm a bit confused.
Not sure if I can speak to that, Tim, because it's
I would. Excuse me. I think Tim was trying to be helpful there, but he also trod over the line in terms of what the content of the paper was all about. So in your statement, you actually accepted that the paper is not about the design of the car park building. Pauline?
Yeah.
Sorry, I've never done this before. Can I ask for a procedural motion and just put it?
You've moved that the question be now put.
Yeah. Going around in circles.
We actually hadn't started the debate, so I have to take advice on that. Sorry. Can I accept that motion without any debate?
Madam Chair, you haven't started debate, so unless that was the first part of debate to put the motion, but no, you can't accept that until debate has been underway.
Okay.
Oh, I tried.
I'll open it up for debate. Does anyone want to speak to it? is that Aaron? You want to speak to it?
Yes, I do actually. So am I going first?
Yeah, and you're debating the topic here.
Yes, I realise that some councillors would rather just bully through the motion and not go through any democratic process.
Oh no, look, I'm not going to accept that. I'm sorry. That is an insult, and I'm sorry, Aaron. But look, I'm just going to. I'm not going to accept this. So,
okay, I'll take it back. Okay, I take that back. So the motion that was put, for those that are confused, was put by Yanni and myself, that we are aware that the car park that is being built is not fit for purpose. It is half the size of what's needed for the hospital and the hospital campus and the people of our community. We were asking that there would be
I'm sorry. I'm not going to accept this, Aaron. Aaron, could you just please mute yourself?
No.
And I just want to make it crystal clear that we are debating this document, and by simply debating an amendment that I've ruled out of order is actually not respecting my ruling. So, and I think that the most appropriate way to deal with this is for you to accept that and to allow us to get on with the approving of the road markings and signage that are in front of us that have been moved and seconded. You can debate the motion, but you cannot debate the matters that you're raising. They weren't relevant to this council. They've never been relevant to this council, and they're not relevant to the debate today. So if you want to raise it at the Canterbury DHB, then by all means, that is where it should be raised first. So I need advice, so I don't know how to. I think I'll just adjourn the meeting.
Yeah. Please get advice, because I think you're taking.
I'm going to adjourn the meeting, and I don't need any help. Can
public
you
that have democratically
Yep, Leanne, we're just going live now.
Thank you. Right. So I'm sorry for the break in the traffic, as it were. I'd like to now put the motion, which is in front of us. All those in favour say aye. And those who want to record their vote against indicate that now.
Against.
Yep. No.
Yep, Yanni and Aaron against. Thank you very much. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the formal acquisition of deeds land, Styx Drain, Highstead. I understand that community board's familiar with this one. Aaron, were you going to move?
Happy to move, Leanne.
Aaron, were you going to move this one?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, and seconded by
Phil.
Phil. Any discussion? I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye, thumbs up.
Aye.
Anyone indicating no, do so now. Thank you, that's carried. Now we move on to the